This fall, I'm teaching a class called Protest and Plague, Identity, Activism and Disease in Literature and Film. And in short, the course kind of has two aims. We're both looking materially to figure out the long histories in the United States of how racial and sexual minorities have come to be disproportionately victimized by chronic and acute disease. And then we're going to also take a more figural or metaphorical track to consider how those same groups have become kind of icons or symbols for disease in American culture. And simultaneously, how their opposite, which is to say white heterosexuality, becomes connected to the image of health, normative health itself, in contradistinction to race, sexuality, etc. One of the questions is, most basically, what are the means of protest, activism, and resistance available to groups who find themselves victimized by disease and unhealth? And a parallel question that we'll find ourselves asking through the course of the semester is, what even counts as protest, right? What modes of action or behavior are legible as protest or as resistance? So we'll encounter some texts that take an explicitly quietist approach, and that, like we'll read, for instance, Ralph Ellison's Invisible Man, which ultimately comes to the conclusion that protest means removal, recession, and invisibility, fugitivity. So in some ways, we'll be reckoning also with the question of what protest is, what activism is, and whether it need always look like bodies in the streets. In my tentative version of this syllabus, I've decided to put D.W. Griffith's film Birth of a Nation on there, which is a really dramatic and powerful film, but is also in some ways an extremely difficult film to watch today. For those who don't know it, in brief, Birth of a Nation is a early 20th century film that valorizes the rise and reemergence of the Ku Klux Klan, and that specifically casts the state of America and the South during Reconstruction as one that is in a position of disease, right, and debility. It has been laid low by freed slaves in the wake of the Emancipation Proclamation, and that it envisions the resurgence of the Klan as a kind of immune response for the country. So I think that film for me is will be a difficult one for us to encounter, but I think dramatizes and accentuates dimensions that are very much with us more mutedly in politics today, that as we hear so much in the wake of Black Lives Matter protests about the importance of law and order, respect for authority, and the implicit, when not actually explicit, racial coordinates and substrates of those rhetorics.